Hey, you guys, so I just wanted to take you through a little bit of this painting process. Here I am just throwing paint on the canvas. Sometimes it's a little intimidating just staring at the blank canvas, so you just kind of have to throw paint on there and go along. As long as you kind of have a color palette in mind, you shouldn't have to go through a ton of paint. Here I am just trying to work the composition and color placement, and as you can tell, I'm doing some mixing outside of the canvas, but I'm doing a lot of mixing on the canvas too. Sometimes the blending of those colors together really brings the harmony throughout the painting. So I end up flipping the painting to get just more of a better or different perception, I guess, and get the balance correct. I'm using quinacridone nickel. Azo gold is that orange color. Jenkins green is the dark green. We have green gold is that light green that I mixed with white. And then I'm using a Liquitex portrait pink, light portrait pink color. So most of these paints are the brand Golden, and then some of them are Liquitex, but I mainly use Golden. They're professional paints. I love the drips. I use a spray bottle with water just to loosen the paint in some areas and let it drip down the canvas. It's a really fun part of the whole process. I had to do the time lapse here because it would have taken too long to paint in real time. This is the second layer because I let that first layer dry and then came back in with this second layer. Sometimes you just have to walk away and let it dry and then come back, and then with fresh eyes, and sometimes that helps. I'm throwing paint at the canvas right there. That was a lot of fun. Just going in with some semi-large brushes. And they're not super large, just medium-sized brushes, just going in with different marks. That's the light portrait pink. I love these colors together. I've just been obsessed with this color palette lately with this series that I've been doing. So that's a Liquitex heavy body paint. This is more of, it's not high flow, it's what are they? I don't even, oh, fluid acrylic. Here we go with the charcoal drawing of the figure, the face, hair, and lips. This particular type of charcoal is very easy to erase. That's kind of why I used that. So if there was any mistakes, I could easily wipe it off with my finger. And here I am working on this braid here, but before I did that, I sprayed an acrylic varnish over the painting so that that charcoal would not be smeared all over. I worked on the braid. I mean, I'm not really being too careful here with the marks and stuff because I know that I'm going to be going back in with a lot more different colors and reworking it a ton of times. So, it's so messy. That's the quinacridone nickel azo gold. Azo? I don't know how you pronounce it. It's such a pretty color though. I love it. Even though the paints are a little bit more pricey, they're so worth it. The pigments, just the intensity of the colors in these paints are just everything. It makes a big difference, just like the brushes make a big difference too sometimes, depending on what you're doing. Here I am with going in with, it's a Posca pen. It's an acrylic marker. This is the super fine black. I love these markers so much. There's so many different sizes and colors. They work very well. They're extremely pigmented. Trying to figure out where I wanted the light to come from, and making shadows with that easily removable charcoal. More of the Jenkins green. It's transparent. This is one of the funnest things to do right here, this organic mark making process. I didn't show a whole lot of that, but it probably will show a little bit more here in a minute. I've worked so much on this braid. This is a fishtail braid. I love doing these braids on myself, and I just really wanted to include that in one of these pieces. So here we go, more with the mark making. It's just the best. And in a minute here, I'm going to start throwing paint at the canvas again, which is probably even more fun. There we go. Trying to kind of even out the balance it out there with some more color. It was pretty light in that area, but I hadn't added the her collar of her shirt yet at this point. I do end up adding shoulders and the collar. This is like I think I took neon orange and mixed it with white. It makes this beautiful sunset color, or sunrise more so. Just beautiful orange. When you take a fluorescent and mix it with white, it just makes like a electric, muted down fluorescent. That's more of that azo quinacridone color. I did use some yellow in here too. It's like a bismuth, I think. Yeah, light bismuth yellow golden paints. And those are heavy body paints that I'm using, which just means it's the thicker paint